Hello and welcome to this week's lesson. This week we look at words and phrases used when learning about making delicious ice cream and rhubarb ice cream in particular. Don't forget to like and to subscribe and stay until the end to test your knowledge by taking our quiz. Anyway, let's get started with the first word. The first word for you this week is tangy. So we will look at the definition as well as provide you with an example. But firstly, let's look at how to pronounce tangy exactly. Tangy. And again, tangy. Excellent. So now we've got the hang of tangy pronunciation. Let's have a look at the definition. This is a strong taste food may have, such as when we eat vinegar or lemons. The tangy taste will taste like these. Great. So now let's have a look at an example. John ate the lemon ice cream he bought at the supermarket, which had a tangy taste. The second word for you this week is a relatively new word for most people, and this one is rhubarb. So we'll learn about how to define rhubarb and also how to look at it in an example sentence. But first, let's look at this new word rhubarb and find out exactly how to pronounce it. Rhubarb. And again, rhubarb. And one more time, rhubarb. Fantastic. So we've had a look at the pronunciation. Now let's move on to the definition of rhubarb. This is a thick red or green type of plant which is grown mainly in northern England. It is eaten as a fruit after it is cooked. Great. So now let's take a look at an example. Amy loved growing rhubarb in her garden, cooking it or turning it into ice cream, and then eating it. Fantastic. So that's the example. So let's move on to the next word. The next word in this week's lesson is compote. So let's learn a little more by looking at the definition and example. But first of all, let's learn exactly how we can pronounce the word compote. Compote. And again, compote. Excellent. So now we have learnt the pronunciation. Let's have a look at the definition of compote. This is a dish of fruits served with sugar or syrup, which can be served hot or cold. That's interesting. So let's learn a little more about compote by looking at an example and how we can use this in a sentence.
Alice
took her compote outside to eat on hot days. She felt the fruit in her compote could cool her down after her meal. The penultimate word this week is rippled. So let's take a look at the definition and the example sentence. But first, let's learn a little more how to pronounce rippled. Rip old. And again, rip old. And one more time, rip old. Fantastic. So let's take a look at the definition of rippled and see what that can tell us. This is when flavouring such as rhubarb is placed through ice cream in wiggly lines. Wow, that sounds tasty. So let's learn more by taking a look at an example sentence which includes rippled. Carl loved eating rhubarb ice cream, especially outside on a warm day. He enjoyed tasting the rhubarb flavour rippled within the ice cream. Our final phrase this week is ice cream sandwich. So we'll take a look at the definition as well as the example. But first of all, let's try and look at more detail in how we pronounce ice cream sandwich. Ice cream sandwich. Excellent. And again, ice cream sandwich. Fantastic. So let's take a look at how we define ice cream sandwich. This is ice cream which is placed in the middle of two biscuits or wafers, which are thin, crispy biscuits, and is eaten like a sandwich. Great. So let's take a look at the example. John and Mary each had an ice cream sandwich from the park cafe. They enjoyed eating it as it cooled them down. Now it is time to test your knowledge with our weekly quiz to see how much of today's lesson you can remember. We will ask you 3 questions on the vocabulary we have learnt during this video. Question number 1. What colour is rhubarb? Is it A, red and green? Is it B, yellow and black? Or is it C, orange and purple? And the correct answer for number 1 is red and green. Question number 2. What is a dish of fruit called containing sugar and syrup? Would it be A, compote, B, complain, or C, compose? And the correct answer for number 2 is A, compote. Question number 3. Apart from ice cream, what is also included in an ice cream sandwich? Would it be A, bread and butter, B, poppadoms, or C, biscuits or wafers? And the correct answer for number 3 is C, biscuits or wafers. Let us know in the comments how you did in this week's quiz, and congratulations if you got all 3 questions correct. Thank you for joining us again today. If you have any questions about this video, or would like us to explain a term for you from any context, then please post your question in the comments box below. We are always happy to help. Don't forget to like our video to help us gain further viewers and to expand our channel in order to provide you with an even better experience. Why not hit the subscribe button and bell notification icon so you never miss one of our future videos. Next week we will be looking at the words and phrases related to the sport of cricket. Anyway, thank you for joining us again this week, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.